are going to like this, Tim. Wonderful stuff.
Fresh apple cider.
Good.
Hi, welcome to Evening Magazine. I'm Tim White.
And I'm Donna Hamilton. Tonight we're here at the Weber Farm Cider Mill on Proctor Road. This stuff is so good. If you haven't had any.
I always thought apples came from trees, but apparently they're inside the stainless steel things here.
Too.
We're going to get evening off to a great start tonight by talking about the people who get your day off to a great start. We call the story I Wake Up Baltimore, and tonight you're going to meet the best early morning disc jockeys in the city. You usually meet them on the radio. Tonight they're on the tube.
And we'll meet a bubbly housewife who has built $1 million empire on selling household hints.
Buffalo George is here tonight chewing up a storm with chewing gum. Here's a thought for you. If your doctor tells you that caffeine makes you nervous, you can have a little hot cider in the morning instead of coffee. You throw in a little bit of honey and a couple of cinnamon sticks and some clove, and it's wonderful. I have some myself every once in a while. But most of us wake up in the morning, whether it's with coffee or cider, with our radios. The morning personalities in Baltimore are a terrific lot of people. How on earth do they get up at that hour and sound so cheery? Tonight we're going to find out as we meet the morning people, the ones who say, "Good morning," through the fog.
That's Stevie Wonder here on WBAL Radio 11.
WEAA-FM. Preceding the news, it was Grover Washington Jr. live at the Bijou.
I'm Lopez on 98 Rock. You didn't let me introduce the record, you bozo. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know you were on. Oh. It's hard to tell, you know. It's okay.
On WPOC and Rooster T. Cogburn, the world's largest trained chicken, and I want you to put your hands together, Baltimore, do a little clapping, and sing along with Jerry Reed. All right.
Morning. A new beginning when the whole world seems to stretch its arms and come alive again. And getting off to a fresh start is made a little easier by the morning radio personalities like Bob Raleigh of WPOC FM.
I think it's kind of fun being the first person that wakes somebody up in the morning. It's the first thing they hear when they wake up, and it might make the difference between a great day and a rotten day. The special thing about mornings is you can be a little more crazy. I like to move around while I'm doing the show. I like to be animated. I like to get into what I'm doing. And when I'm up and on my feet, I'm moving along just like the friends I'm talking to on the air are moving through traffic and on their way to work.
Ha, ha, hit 'em up and move 'em out. Now, from his album, Big City, this is Merle Haggard and the Texas Fiddle Song. Everybody do a two-step.
Lots of people get their mornings going to the friendly AM voice of Bob Jones.
Jones, I don't know how cold the winter is going to be, but I understand the Bears over at the zoo there in Druid Hill Park have sent out for quartz heaters. People like a certain amount of consistency, and we've done the same kind of thing pretty much for a long time on WBAL in the mornings, even before I was the host of the show. And I think in this world it does change so much sometimes that a little bit of consistency is welcomed by people. And I think the ratings kind of show that in our case that's been one of the strengths. I think you do have a certain lifestyle when you're an early morning person. It's probably easier to get up early than it is to force yourself to go to bed early. It's an interesting thing. I've talked to a lot of people here at the station and at others who live around town that work early shifts. There's one thing that has been on the market a few years that's made it really tough to sleep in the daytime. You're probably familiar with it's a children's toy called Big Wheels. They are the noisiest things you ever want to run into. And you ask anybody that gets up early, and they'll tell you how many big wheels there are running up and down their blocks in the afternoon with the little kids on them.
And good morning, everyone. How are you doing? We have Lady of the Day coming up in just about a half an hour. I would like to...
One morning show that's unique, broadcast from Morgan State University.
I'm Isa Sarr, and we're moving into the final hour. I like sharing early morning with people better than any other time because everybody's minds are fresh and we can discuss interesting things. I give people information, things to remember, things to think about. Sometimes I talk about ancient African history. people like Cleopatra had sheeps at Hannibal. Various dates or facts, or I'll read different topics on health, natural foods, diets, recipes, or things that are in politics, but not so much because the news basically carries that. And I feel a strong sense of commitment, particularly when my car doesn't start in the morning and I have to scramble to figure out how I'm going to get here on time because I know so many people are depending on me so that they can get up. I wish they wouldn't do that, but that's how it works out.
Now, when it's a fight to get going in the morning, a lot of you tune in to the 1-2 punch of Woodworth and Lopez at 98 Rock.
People who we meet outside of the station often feel a great deal of intimacy with us because they're brushing their teeth and doing who knows what else in the morning when listening to us on the radio. So it's almost like we're there with them when they're getting ready to go to work. And in a lot of ways, we're kind of an unconscious clock for people, that they gauge themselves against us when they're trying to rush out the door in the morning.
It takes a long time to learn to do it. It really does. But you do adjust. Well, Lopez runs now, gets healthy, eats healthy food. I live on cigarettes and coffee.
I'm a zombie by 11 or 11 o'clock or midnight. There are a couple of really bizarre movies that are playing midnight shows now that I've been wanting to see for a couple of years. And I just can't stay awake long enough to go see them. So in a way, it kind of dampens the social life. So how's the driveway this morning?
Well, I walked it. The cars are parked down front next to the road.
Oh, good. Now they'll be stolen.
Or vandalized.
Or a big tractor trailer will come by and slide off the road and total both of your cars.
Probably.
It'll be in the newspaper.
Well, that's okay. Any publicity is publicity, right? I mean, this isn't the same as being on Family Feud, but you take what you can get.
Now, there are lots of interesting and popular radio voices. Everyone has their favorites. But when you think about it, there's just something special about everybody's mornings. And there's a handful of people that make getting up a lot easier for all of us.
I'm Lopez on 98 Rock.
You didn't let me introduce the record, you bozo.
I'm Isa Sar, and we're moving into the final hour of Daybreak Delights.
I'm Bob Jones. You have a good day and keep listening to WBAL Radio 11. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, I've got a little bit of personal experience with early morning radio. When I was just a little shaver starting out in the business, I worked at a little radio station, got a call one morning that I'd have to sign on because the morning man was sick. I wandered out there early in the morning. I was the only guy in the station. I pushed all of the right buttons, I thought, but I wasn't sure. Went on the air at 6:01. I said, if anybody's listening, please call the station. A fella called from the barn where he was milking the cows and said, yep, Sonny, you're on the air. How about playing some Furlan Husky? I said, okay, we honor requests. We've had a request for Buffalo George, and by golly, we'll honor that one. He'll be back talking about chewing gum next on Evening Magazine.
Tonight's winning lotto number is 331. That's 331.
Right now at Wharton.